You can use control groups to train units without even looking at your base. Okay. The number one mistake I see with people in silver and bronze, number one, like most common, most life-changing error. They don't use hotkeys and control groups and location hotkeys.
I don't even think it's physically possible to get into Grandmasters if you don't use control keys.
Oh yeah, no, definitely not Grandmasters. I'm not even sure if it's possible to get to Diamond that way. But yeah, like all those lower level people, I'm just like, anyways, if you'll introduce our first player.
Alright, spawning in the top right, the Orange Zerg, seeking to have his so righteous victory soon.
And spawning in the bottom left, we have the teal Protoss. It is Zest. Yeah. So, my first day of StarCraft, I was learning from my cousin, who back then he was very good at StarCraft. Since then he has not been playing, so you know, he's rusty. Yeah. He still has some strong builds, but they're strong 3 years ago. Strong. Which, I mean, that still makes it a strong build, I guess, but it's just not like cutting edge sort of thing. Like, how did my professor put it this way. During the bombing of Pearl Harbor, the US lost all their old battleships. They were the US's #1 weapon. And so, like, he's not a military strategist, but it's not logical to, because there's conspiracy that, oh, the majority of the fleet wasn't there, so he knew about the attack and was evacuated all his main fleet. And he's like, no, if you're going to do that, you definitely evacuate the battleships because those are your #1 weapon. Now, as a result, they learned that, oh, the aircraft carrier is actually better. But at the time they didn't know that. Where was I going with this? Oh yes, cutting edge. So, like, battleships today are still very good. You don't laugh at a battleship. Like, now granted, some battleships have been redesigned so that, like, they contain nuclear warheads and whatnot. But my point being that, like, sure, it's not the cutting edge, but it's still very strong. So, yeah. Anyways, that's kind of how builds deteriorate over the span of 3 years. Much faster. What are all these drones doing? Oh, gold. Sue has decided to cats Zest. Notice, I did not call it cheese. It is cheese, but yeah.
Specific breed of cheese.
Yes, it is a specific breed of cheese. This is cat cheese. Oh man. Okay, I have seen Scarlet beat Huck with this, so we'll see how this fairs in the Korean region, maybe Zest has something better than what Huck did. We'll also see whether this is gonna be like. Right now, it's looking like Lings and Spine Crawlers, because he hasn't taken any gas. But if he does take gas, he might go for Roaches. He might go for Ling Speed. He could go for a Baneling Bust off of it as well. That's not the most likely, though. He has a lot of options available to him. He's going to take 2 gases in his main after the Scout has left initially, but it's going to come back. Or at least it wants to come back. Queen is being adventurous. Oh! Oh, is he going to go for Lair? No. I don't think so. But then why was this queen over here? Oh, okay, that's what he's gonna do it with. He's gonna use the drone instead. Okay, so I was looking at this overlord and thinking he's gonna get a fast lair and drop creep, and then I realized no, he can just put the hatchery down, cancel the hatchery, put a spore crawler down. There we go. And then that becomes a spine crawler. That okay. Okay. Oh man. That is like that's the sort of thing cats would do. It's not that far from me either. Like, I like to find new ways of spreading creep faster. I'm crazy, in case you guys didn't know that.
I think we're well aware of that.
But I don't play Zerg, so... I mean, at least not as my main. Now there's... Spine Crawler. And, yeah. This is very cool. I like this. See, one of the things about the old way is that, I mean, you'd have to go through the rocks, and then your creep would have to go up and down, and it just take too long. This is... I like this adaptation. It gets it there so much faster. Look at this. His wall is not even done yet. And he can... Because his creep is there, if his lings get in trouble, he just retreats to the spine crawlers. Oh, this is brilliant. Okay. Can we just, like, do that and then go on to the next game? I don't know if you guys saw my number change, jokingly. What was I saying before I got caught up in all this cheese? I wonder if StarCraft players in Wisconsin cheese a lot.
Oh dear.
I should ask Sharana.
Oh well.
She wouldn't know though. Anyways, Lara is coming up now, as well as as Ling Speed. These spine crawlers are going to move closer. There are 4 of them here, as well as 2 queens, so there will be transfuses for these spines. And they're going to kill the forge, which means no more cannons for a little bit. Macro Hatch is gonna go down at the gold. And it's kind of funny, you think like, why do you put your Macro Hatch out there? But it's like, well, you're gonna defend that more than anything else, because if the gold falls, then you're so far behind economically. 2 zealots are gonna be warped in and run into the main, and this is just the sort of thing he needs to, like, this is like Protoss harass when you're in a lot of trouble, like the perfect time. The only thing better would be like a DT with that or something. But I mean, that just takes too much gas, so why would you do that? You know, given the positioning of everything, what I would like to see him do is here, let me take control. Creep Tumor goes over here to the bottom of this ledge. Overlord comes up, drops Creep. Creep Tumor goes up. Not that it would be terribly helpful. It's just one of those things that it's annoying for the Protoss player. It wouldn't really do anything. I mean, in theory, it gives him more vision, but nah. Force fielding spine crawlers from retreating. That's something you don't see every day. Anyways, at this point, Sue has forced Zest into some counter-aggression. And he's going to have to defend this. I imagine he has, based on what he set himself up for, he's going to make a ton of Hydra Ling. Oh, Zest is going to go back. I think he wants to clear creep first. He's waiting for an observer. Which, I'm not really sure I like this decision. Like, I understand it, it makes sense. Like, you don't know where your Zerg opponent is at. You've had no map control this entire time. You don't know how big their army is. But, like, if he knew what we knew, he wouldn't do this. But he doesn't, so it makes sense. The caster's dilemma of trying to, like, well, that's not correct, but I can't fault you. Sue's army has grown considerably now, and he does have a worker lead. So this is more of what I mean, like, the longer he sits here, the more Sue gets ahead. And that's not good for our Protoss player here. Oh, he is going to drop creep to form a pathway behind. See what I mean? Look at all this. Creep, 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 creep. Overlord spreading creep. I'm a creepy person.
I'm gonna say that's pretty manically.
Anyways, oh, where did that come from? How did I miss that? When did this probe get here? Meh. Anyways, Sue missed it too, so he's gonna have to bring his army home. A queen and some drones are not going to suffice against 4 zealots. And that will... that kind of buys him some more time. Yeah, okay. Couple Hydras here. I'll be able to clean this up eventually.